I love to ride a bicycle and I love to do yoga, but I've discovered that they're not exactly complementary activities. My quads get really tight, and if your quadriceps have the same problem or same concern, then you may want to do this practice because we focus on how we can engage the hamstrings and also stretch the quads. Enjoy the practice. Take your feet forward with your feet hip distance apart, still sitting down. Place your hands right behind the belly of your hamstrings, right behind the thighs here. And push your hands right into the belly of the hamstrings. Pull your feet in toward your pelvis and see if you can engage the muscles of the right and the left hamstrings. See if you can engage them equally. And notice as you press your palms against those muscles, you'll probably feel like, oh, maybe one leg fires a little bit more so than the other. Now, you've been pulling your heels in toward your pelvis. Now do the opposite. Push your feet away from your pelvis. And now notice just with your hands there, that tactile impression. Notice how your hamstrings aren't doing too much of anything right now. Now pull from your toes to your heels, from your heels toward your pelvis, back toward the pelvis. And notice how you engage nicely. So today, in order to get more length at the top of the thighs and the quadricep muscles, you need to engage those muscles that we've been feeling. This pulling in action allows you to contract the hamstrings to get really nice engagement there. So let's try that standing up. So as you stand up, grab your two blocks and stand at the front of the mat, and as you come to standing position, have your blocks in their tallest position. Center your left foot and lift your right leg up. Bend your left knee. And in that same way that we're trying to like pull the heel back toward the pelvis when we're seated, see if you can manage that. I know that's a very difficult action to do, pulling the heel back when you're on one foot. Take your left hand to your left back of the thigh. Just notice that engagement. Try to keep that engagement and straighten your leg. And again, bend your knee. Imagine that you're pulling your left heel back. You engage the hamstrings nicely and straighten the leg. And one more time, bend your knee. See if you can go a little bit deeper now with a strong engagement of the left leg. Pull back from the toes to the heel, heel back before lifting up. Release the right leg down, center the right foot. Keep your hands to the blocks for now. As you lift your left leg up, right leg is centered. Bend your right knee. Take your right hand to just touch the belly of the hamstrings there. Right foot stays really active. You're engaging the right leg so much. Keep that engagement as you slowly straighten the right leg. Do that a few more times. Bend your right knee. Pull the heel back. Really get a nice engagement there before straightening the right leg. Notice a difference on this side for you. Slow it down as you go a little bit deeper. Bend your right knee a lot and straighten. Now release your left foot down. Have the feet parallel to each other, hip distance apart. Bend your knees. Take your hands right behind the thighs again and see how you can get a little bit more engagement. So chances are when you're seated, you really could feel how the hamstrings engaged as you pull them in toward the pelvis. Well, now that pulling in action is a little bit harder to find. See if you can get any engagement there as you lift your arms up, take your gaze right between your hands, root down to rise up, reach up and reach back. Exhale, take your hands back to the blocks. Inhale, lift your right leg in the air. Exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, release your right foot down. With your knees slightly bent, root down to inhale. Sweep your arms up and back. Exhale, place your hands right in front of your heart. And breathe in deep. And breathe out long to release your hands. Breathe in deep. Reach your arms up. Reach your hands slightly back so you get this nice elongation of the front body, even from the knees to the pelvis. Exhale, take your hands down to your blocks. Inhale, lift your left leg in the air and look forward. Exhale, bend your right knee. Draw down. Inhale, lift up and release your left leg. Place your hands to your low back with knees bent. Draw your shoulders in and rise up. Reach up again. Reach way back. Exhale, bend your knees and take your hands right alongside your ankles to step your right leg back. Lift your back heel high so the back foot is vertical. Take your hands right at the top of the knee. Bend the back knee a lot and straighten the back leg. Bend the back knee as if you're just trying to tap it down. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend your knee. So it's a really strong action of the back leg. Straighten the leg. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to your low back. Root down and rise up. Reach up to the sky and back. Exhale, bend your knees and place your hands right alongside your ankles to step your left leg back. Get the back heel right over your toes. So back foot is almost vertical. Take your hands right above your right knee. Bend your left knee a lot and straighten the left leg. Bend your left knee a lot and straighten your back leg. Last time, bend your left knee and straighten and release your hands down to the mat. Step your back foot forward. Place both hands to the low back and lift up. Reach up to the sky and back. Exhale, come to the earth. Bend your knees slightly as you plant your hands right alongside your feet to step back to either a plank pose or all fours position. Pause there. Get a nice strength in your arms and slowly lower yourself to the earth. Once you're on the earth, roll over to your left side. Bend your right knee and hold on to your foot. And just see about giving yourself a little thigh stretch. So as you hold onto the foot, reach your foot away from your shoulders. Reach your foot so that you can get a nice opening in your shoulders there, a nice thigh stretch. Release your foot down, roll over to your belly, and do the same thing on the opposite side. Roll to the right arm, bend your left knee. Get hold of your foot and give yourself a nice stretch there. Just pause. See if you can engage the backside of the leg by engaging the toes more of the left foot. Come over to your belly. On the next in-breath, bend both knees to get a little top of the thigh stretch there. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale and soften. Free your arms and reach them back. You don't have to hold on to your feet, but inhale, get the back muscles strong as you rise up. Exhale and soften. And again, inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale and soften. Release your feet down. Place your hands right alongside your ribs. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, soften. Come through all fours position to either puppy dog pose or downward facing dog or all fours position. Just pause here for a moment. And in whatever pose you chose, just move your pelvis slightly side to side to just get more acquainted with the side body from the armpit to the pelvis, moving freely side to side. Shift back to the center position. Reach your right leg up. Reach your right hip higher than your left hip. As you reach your right foot as high as possible, bend your right knee. Just open up nicely. So with the right knee bent, you get a nice stretch to the quads on the right side and a nice stretch to the inner groin area on the left leg. Release your foot down. Look forward, walk, step, or hop your way to the front of the mat. Place your hands to your low back and inhale to lift yourself up. Reach up to the sky and back. Exhale, come down to the forward fold. Place your hands right alongside your feet. Step yourself back to a plank position or tabletop position. Pause there. Have the arms really strong, the feet really engaged, the heels right over the toes. Lower yourself down to the mat. In the same way that we just did, roll over to your left side. Bend your top leg and grab hold of your shin, your ankle, or the top of the foot. And just open up really nicely to give your thigh a nice stretch there. So keep hold of the foot and roll to your belly. On the next in-breath, lift yourself up. On the exhale breath, soften down. 2 more times. In-breath as you rise up. Exhale, soften. And 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Now roll to the opposite side. As you roll to the right side, grab hold of your left foot or shin or ankle. Easefully roll to your belly. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, lower down. 2 more times. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you soften. And 1 more. Inhale, your back muscles get really strong. Exhale, you soften. Release your foot. Take your hands right alongside your ribs. Inhale, baby cobra to lift up now that we've worked the back muscles so strong. See if you can really open up nicely. Exhale, soften. Come to all fours position or downward facing dog. And pause in whatever pose you're in. Just shift your pelvis one side to the other side. Back to center. Lift your left leg up in the air. Lift your left hip higher than your right hip. Bend your left knee. Just open up so nicely. Release your left foot down. Look forward. Walk, step, or hop your way to the front of the mat. Place your hands to your low back and root down to rise up. Just pause in Tadasana. We worked to get the thigh to stretch nicely and the back body to contract or to get a little bit more muscular strength there, from the hamstrings to the back muscles. Just notice as you stand with the fullness of the front side of the body. See how open and spacious you feel. Now, with your eyes bright, inhale, take your arms up and reach them back. Exhale, take your hands down to the earth. Inhale, lengthen, look forward. Exhale, soften. Two more. Inhale, bob up and expand. Exhale and soften. One more. Inhale and exhale. Place your hands alongside your ankles. Step yourself back to either all fours or a plank position. Pull your hands in toward each other isometrically, no matter what pose you chose. Come forward slightly, shoulders forward and fingertips, before lowering yourself all the way down. Bend your knees. Reach your hands straight back toward your knees. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, soften. In the same way, we've been doing reach your left arm out, roll over to your left side, bend your top leg, find your top leg there. Now, this time, just park the right leg down and just open up. So you're just lying down on your back with your shoulders nice and open. Your right foot is on the floor. You're just opening your chest nicely while still getting a nice openness to the front side of the body. Just keep that. See if you can keep your right shoulder planted nicely. Now roll over to the side and release your foot to roll over to the right side and do the same thing. Reach your right arm out, park your head on your right arm, and as you're ready, top leg you grab. Now park the foot behind you. Open up nicely. See if you can get even more length from the pelvis to the knee. Still opening nicely. And slowly, with grace, roll back and back to your belly to release your foot and come through all fours position to either downward facing dog or puppy dog, your choice. Pause here. Pause and just kind of receive a nice fullness to your breath. And as you're ready, make your way to the front of the mat. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. Let's balance doing the same pose we just did on our belly. So as you balance, Just as we did when we were on our side trying to find our ankle or the shin, top of the foot, just bring your right knee in really close to you and see if you can grab hold of the top of the shin, the ankle, the foot, and give yourself a nice stretch. If you can, reach your opposite arm up, just in the form that we were just in on our belly. Go ahead. If you want to just tap the wall by you to keep your balance, feel free to do that. Just get a nice stretch here. See how just by doing the action of pulling the heel in toward the pelvis, resisting with a hand, you see if you can get a little bit more engagement in the back side of the leg. Keep a nice stability in the standing leg. You can bow forward if you wish. Just see what pose really works nicely for you. And inhale, release your foot down and pause there. Notice how fiery the standing leg is at this point. So have the lifted leg get a little bit more fiery, a little bit more anchored to the earth. See if you can get your toes to spread. Nice rooted quality for your foundation. Before lifting up the left leg and hug the left leg in nicely. Just inch your fingers down toward your ankle. Find a nice way to hold the leg. Get the length on the front side of the thigh. Get an engagement on the back side of the thigh so that you can get even more stretch on the front side of the thigh. If you'd like to lift your arm up, feel free to do that. Get this nice opening in the chest. And if you want to bow slightly forward, feel free to do that. Standing leg should have a slight bend to it. So you can really engage more fully in that standing leg. Just keep that nice steadiness. Keep a nice opening to the shoulder. And as you're ready, slowly, slowly come out of the pose. Release your foot. We'll lie down on our belly one more time, but first just let's open the side body. And as you come to a wide stance, we'll open the side body to prepare ourselves for a supine stretch that we're about to do. So with your feet nice and wide apart, turn your right toes out and look at the lineup of the right heel to the back arch. Bend your front knee. Open your chest nicely by taking your arms in this cactus pose and draw as if you're trying to tap your elbow down to the knee. Do that. Inhale, lift up, and just reach the back hand back. Take the upper arm up and over your head to get this beautiful length in the side body. And do that again. Take your hands in this cactus pose with the fingers spread. Draw the elbow down as if tapping. Inhale, reach up and back. One last time. Take the hands in cactus, tap down, pull the legs in before reaching up and back. And release. Parallel your feet. Have your hands right at your hip points. And as you change sides, pardon me, as you turn your left toes out, bend your left knee. Get this nice stability in your stance before taking your arms in this cactus pose. In the cactus pose, tap down and reach up and back. Cactus pose to tap down, reach up and back, and cactus pose to tap down and reach up and back. All right, now the side body is nice and long, preparing us nicely for a twist. So parallel your feet and step in Tadasana. Pause here for a moment. And let's make our way down to lie on your belly. So as you lie on your belly, just roll over to your side. Bend your top leg. Find your leg, just like we've been doing. And now roll over to your back in that same way that we had been doing. Now bend your opposite leg. Right now, trade so your right hand is on your right shin bone. Now, instead, take your right hand on your left shin bone, right? So it's very awkward. Just weave your hand underneath your right knee to find your left shin bone. Now, as you do, try to stretch your left knee farther away from you as you still hold on to it with the right hand. Reach your right leg up, reach your right leg over. So you go in this nice twisting fashion. You still have hold of your left leg with your right hand. You're just opening yourself really nicely here. And very slowly come out of the pose. So release the hold of your left foot and come back to the come back to the mat where you can just roll over to your opposite side now. So as you roll over, lift your right arm up and roll over to the side, grab hold of the left foot and just plant the left foot as you pause here. So as you bend your right knee, now weave your left hand from the left foot to the right shin bone, right? And as you do, reach your right knee as far away from you as possible, still holding on to the ankle. Reach your left leg in the air. Very nice. From there, do a little bit more of a twist. Take the left leg over to the right side as you're still holding on to the right shin bone with the left hand. Just get this nice twisting action. And inhale, lift your foot up. Exhale, release down. Come to lie on your back with your knees bent. Just pause here for a moment. When we started the class, I had you bend your knees and pull your heels in a sitting position. You're pulling your heels toward your pelvis. So now pull your heels toward your pelvis. Take your hands right behind your thighs. Maybe you can feel how the hamstrings are engaging so fully. You want to keep that to stretch the front of the thighs. Park your elbows alongside your ribs with your palms facing each other and lifted toward the sky. Keep pulling in your heels toward your pelvis. Inhale, lift your pelvis up. Still pull the heels in now toward the heart. You get this nice length in the pose here as you lift up, and all the thigh stretches, you'll probably notice how your bridge pose has really changed. It's so full, it's so bright. Keep that nice lift, that nice lengthening, and slowly take your pelvis down and release your arms in a T position on the earth with your feet stepping wide as your mat is. Just let the knees draw over toward the right side, not too deep, just a little bit extra time to give the outer thigh a nice stretch to the top of the thigh again. And lift your knees up and come to the opposite side. And same thing, the back leg just gets a lot of stretch all the way from the armpit to the pelvis. You get length. From the pelvis down to the knee, you get length. And inhale, lift up, place your feet hip distance apart, draw your right knee in, and just interlace your fingers in front of the right shin bone as you reach your left leg out. Bend the left knee and plant your foot. Take the right foot to the mat. Draw your left knee in a lot. Just hug in. Stretch your right leg out and just enjoy this nice opening to the inner groin muscles here. And bend your right knee, plant your right foot, release your left foot. Now take both knees up to the palms of the hands with your feet engaged, similar to what we did at the very start of the class. Imagine that your feet are pressing into the floor. You're pulling your heels in toward the pelvis to engage your hamstrings. And keeping that, just rock slightly side to side, just oh so slowly, so that you can find those parts of the buttocks muscles there that could use a little bit more lubrication, a little bit more stimulation, a little bit more blood flow. Stay there if you find those spots that feel slightly contracted. And park your feet down to the mat. Stretch your legs out with your arms equal distance from the center line, and same thing with the legs. Just pause here. Close your eyes. This is your time to assimilate the actions that we did. So let that inner eye of awareness just going to travel up to the upper thighs, the back of the thighs, the front of the thighs, just to notice the different sensations. Bring your breath to expand the back muscles. Feel how your back ribs expand against your clothing. Notice how you can create even more space between your ribs. Just through the fullness of your breath. Let your inner eye of awareness travel up to your shoulders and your arms. Notice how, as the arms feel heavier, feel more grounded, your shoulders just draw back to the mat. And as the shoulders draw back, the heart lifts more fully. And just like the heaviness of the pelvis allows your legs to release, the heaviness of the head allows your neck muscles and arms to release more. Allow your breath to be very free and natural. Stay in Shavasana for as long as you wish, or if you need to move on to your daily activities, please do so. Namaste.